Throughout the years, there have been many stories told about the NFL draft, but in one of the most bizarre cases that occurred back in 2014, San Diego State running back Adam Muema is one that takes the cake. Now, many of you may or may not recall, leading up to the draft, Adam Muema was a running back many teams were looking at in this draft class. After forgoing his senior year and declaring for the draft, teams and scouts waited in anticipation to see what this footballer could do on the field. So with the draft approaching, Adam told his college coaches he would attend San Diego State's Pro Day on March 20th. However, when the big day finally came, Adam never showed. Adam Muema's sudden disappearance from the Combine baffled many teams and scouts, and the mystery of his whereabouts since leaving the Combine left many concerned.
It was the tweet heard round the sports talk world when San Diego State's Adam Muema walked out of an NFL tryout last month saying,
Guys, quickly before we jump into this video, if you watched and enjoyed some of my content, do me a favor and turn on all notifications. A lot of you have complained that my videos aren't getting out to your homepages, and the ongoing joke is, I'm being blackballed by YouTube. Also, let me know in the comments section if there's a certain NFL story, game, or player you'd like me to feature in one of my videos. If it gets enough likes, I'll be sure to add it into my basket.
Billy Martin, straight from Brooklyn, better known as Brooklyn. Never taking shorts cause Brooklyn's the borough.
Growing up in Covina, California, Adam played high school football for the Chargers at Charter Oaks and eventually agreed to play collegiate football for San Diego State. While in San Diego, Adam rushed for 2,955 yards and amassed 34 TDs in his 3 seasons there. He went on to have a solid junior season, and on January 2, 2014, the San Diego State running back declared for the NFL draft after finishing the campaign with 1,244 yards and 15 touchdowns, including a stellar performance in the 2013 famous Idaho Potato Bowl game. In that game, Muema went on for a total of 229 yards and 3 scores in a 49-24 Aztecs win over Buffalo. Heading into the draft, Adam wasn't necessarily a first or even a second round prospect for NFL scouts, however, still touted to go somewhere in between the 4th and 7th round. Nevertheless, Adam would always allow his stats and numbers to do all the talking. When healthy, he was one of the best players in the Mountain West Conference, with his coach Rocky Long even going as far as to say that Muema was the best tailback in the nation. With all that being said, heading into the NFL Combine 3 weeks prior to his pro day, Adam soon began showing uncharacteristic behavior, and this is where the story has a bizarre twist as he began cutting off contact with friends and family and even parted with his agent. After participating in day 1 of the NFL Combine on February 23rd, he disappeared and was nowhere to be found. Sources close to Adam simply had no idea where he was. When he was interviewed at the Combine, the kid seemed very calm and relaxed, so it was obvious that his disappearance began to shock many from around the league.
Aztec fans know Adam Muema. Adam, how great has this process been for you so far?
It's been great. It's been an experience, and I'm just trying to learn and enjoy it. We're working off like 4 hours of sleep, 5 hours of sleep, so I'm just trying to enjoy it while I can.
Now, why did you go ahead and make the decision to go ahead and leave San Diego State and enter the NFL draft? Why did you know that you were ready?
Statistic-wise, I felt like physical-wise, mentally-wise, I felt like I was ready for the next step.
The only communication coming through Adam was via his Twitter account the next day, where out of nowhere, he began claiming that God had told him that if he left the Combine, he'd be drafted by the Seattle Seahawks. Obviously, once media outlets, teams, and scouts got wind of the story, it was everywhere. Everyone was looking for this kid. And as the story goes, a day later, CBS Sports producer Matt Brodsky said he saw the running back as they were on the same flight leaving the Combine from Indianapolis heading to Fort Lauderdale. When they landed, Brodsky said he last saw Adam at the baggage claim area at Fort Lauderdale International Airport. Now, this is where the story takes another turn when Corey Nelson, an Oklahoma linebacker who had been training with Muema since January, revealed that Adam had called to pick him up from the airport. Nelson would later describe Adam's demeanor that day as focused, cheerful, and very wise. However, Nelson also went on to reveal that Adam had been at the airport for 3 days straight prior to getting picked up, and that God had told him to stay at the airport and not to do anything but just to stay there. And on the 4th day, Adam couldn't take it anymore and called Corey to pick him up. After that, he fell off the radar again. After many unanswered texts and phone calls from friends and family, no one had still heard from Adam. His former high school coach from Charter Oak and the San Diego State coaches all attempted in trying to reach him, but to no avail. At this point, everyone was just hoping he was safe. As each day passed, many close to him worried about his health and safety, on top of him letting his NFL dreams fade away. When you think about it, what team would want to draft a player who's displaying all sorts of erratic behavior? It's a big investment teams are making when they draft you, and this is why many of them do their due diligence to ensure they're making the right pick. Anyways, as each day passed, Adam began leaving more and more subtle messages on social media. On his Instagram and Twitter account, he began associating himself with a self-proclaimed returned Christ named Lord Rael, someone who preached about the end of the world through YouTube and other social media platforms. This led many to be confused because here was a guy who, from what I can tell, wanted to pursue a career in the NFL in a game that he's been playing since his childhood, and then all of a sudden begins making uncharacteristic religious posts pledging himself to some dude named Lord Rael. And rightfully so, many people began wondering if this new religious direction he was taking was simply a cult. Now, with only a couple weeks away until his March 20th Pro Day, Adam began posting more cryptic messages on his social media, suggesting that the end of the world was coming and that President Obama was the Antichrist. This was then followed by a change in his Twitter bio, reflecting that he was a member of the Seattle Seahawks with a number 8 jersey, and also bragging about the new social media followers he'd acquired since declaring his allegiance to Lord Rael. You guys are right, I am crazy. Crazy in love with Jesus, it is the sweetest name I know. While there's nothing wrong in expressing your faith in religion, it just seemed a little off considering Adam never expressed them before or even to this extent. In an ESPN article written by Kevin Van Valkenburg, he stated that he was able to contact Adam through text messaging as he obtained his number through a friend of a friend. During their exchanges, Kevin said most of the responses he received from Adam were frequently religious in nature, with responses of Lord Rael warning his followers about the temptations of Satan. As Adam's pro day passed with the running back nowhere in sight, Kevin texted back the college star, "Saw you weren't at the pro day, want to meet up somewhere for lunch and chat?" And Adam bizarrely responded back with, "I'm watching you, just can't see me." And moments after that, Adam posted a picture on his Twitter account wearing a San Diego State ski hat, a blanket draped around him, and Groucho Marx glasses, and soon after, Adam stopped responding to all of Kevin's messages. Looking for more answers, Kevin decided to make his way to Covina, California to speak with those closest to Adam. Many consider Adam as a loner who kept to himself, the strong silent type, but not in a standoffish way. He was never the kid you had to worry about abusing substances. When speaking with his former high school coach, Lou Farrar, he professed Adam was a good kid with immense talent on the field and that he was really worried about him. When trying to think about what could have triggered all these odd behaviors of late, the coach remembered a night during Adam's senior year of high school when he attended a graduation party at a friend's house where a group of uninvited guests crashed the party. And what ensued was a fight amongst the two sides, and Adam, trying to get the new guests to leave, was struck with a baseball bat, fracturing his orbital bone and tearing a hole in his retina, blurring his vision. During the recovery, Adam for 2 weeks laid face down, barely moving to ensure the healing process would go smoothly. So this does raise the question, could this injury have possibly come back years later and affected Adam? The article would later go on to discuss an interaction between Adam Muema and Father James Braniak. This took place during the NFL Combine when Adam was seen less than a mile away from Lucas Oil Stadium at a local church. The priest had noticed the young man all alone, kneeling and praying with his head down. Father Braniak, who was the team chaplain for the Packers, noticed an NFL Combine credential hanging from Adam's neck, which struck him as odd, as he would have revealed that during NFL Combines, while seeing coaches, executives, and scouts in attendance at his homily, he had never seen an athlete in attendance. And while perplexed, the father asked Muema, "How can you afford so much time in church today? Don't you have things to do, routes to run?" And Adam replied that he took the day off and had to get his priorities in order and that God was first and foremost. After talking more and more about religion, the two stayed in touch through text messages. However, after further exchanges of their religious beliefs, the priest began to express to Adam that he had concerns that someone might be taking advantage of his innocence. This drew an angry reaction from Adam, who accused Braniak of turning on him, calling him a fake priest, and said that he was working with Satan. This further caused great concern for the priest, as he felt Adam was firmly planted in the world of Lord Rael. Anyways, back in California, while Kevin was preparing to pack up and leave Covina, he decided to scroll through Adam's Instagram page. There, he saw normal things you would find in a college kid's IG: shirtless selfies, throwback Thursday shots, pictures of food, and of actress Megan Fox. However, he then got to a picture of a blurry football field and noticed the hashtag surprise and the day it was loaded. March 20th, the day of Adam's pro day. While examining the picture, Kevin could make out the NFL scouts scattered around the field and even himself, dressed in the clothes that he had worn that day. From where the photo was taken, it was in a spot just outside the football field where one could stand and watch, virtually unseen. When Kevin pulled out his phone and looked back at his messages, he saw the one that creepily read, "I'm watching you, just can't see me." Weeks would pass, and Adam continued tweeting bizarre things like saying he's in Mexico, selfies with military uniform, pictures of a handgun with his old football jerseys spread out on his bed. After doing some of my own digging, I was able to find some other videos of Adam on YouTube, bizarrely talking about starting a fitness channel to meeting the Messiah. Clearly, this dude seems to have gone off the rails. His Twitter is quite active to this day, with its profile banner displaying a picture of Lord Rael and goes by the name of Cardinal Muema of Africa.
I wanted to share briefly on my experience of meeting and seeing the Messiah for the first time. It was actually really surreal leading up to the days until the anointment, and I did not allow myself to fully comprehend what was actually about to happen, and that we were about to be in the presence of the living Son of God.
All in all, this is definitely one of the most bizarre draft stories in the NFL. Whether this kid is right mentally or just seems to have been taken advantage of joining a cult, it seems rather unclear.